This is Gerardo Del Real live here from the 2024 Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit. Joining me today is the executive chairman of my largest personal holding and a company that I think is pioneering a brand new copper gold belt in Peru. Talking, of course, about Hannan Metals, Mr. Michael Hudson. Mike, we just got back from Peru last week, had an incredible site visit. The scale of the 100% owned Valente land package is absolutely stunning. There's grade, there's continuity. It's early stage, we haven't drilled yet. But as far as the sampling, the geophysics, everything that we were able to see and everything that we can measure, it looks absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I couldn't be more excited to have you on. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And thank you for making the big effort to get down there and see it in the flesh. There's nothing better, is there?
Nothing better. For those that are not familiar with Valente, can you explain the land package? And then let's get into why I think Hannan Metals is going to be the most exciting copper gold exploration story over the next several years. That's a big statement because we just chatted about moss and gold, and you mentioned having what you thought was the highest quality gold deposit discovery in recent memory. I happen to think that Hannan Metals is going to have one of the, if not the best, copper gold and gold copper discoveries, and many of them over the next several years. So let's talk Valente. What makes Valente so special?
Valente is special because it's a brand new copper belt that hasn't ever been found before. And we've gone into Peru over the last 3 or 4 years and taken big, bold steps into elephant country. And we found 18 porphyries, 5 or 6 of them that we've done a lot more work on from a surface perspective. So we've gone in there and done initially the stream sediment sampling that's identified the anomalous catchments. We've gone and flown the regional mag that's given us the pinpoint anomalies. We've gone and mapped them. We've gone and taken thousands and thousands and thousands of soil samples. We've done some IP over the 3 different areas, or 4 different areas, I should say now, and they're ready for drilling. And Hannan's always been, over the last couple of years, wait, because we've got to go through a slow process to permit, and we're almost there, like months away is the anticipation. You know, Peru's always got an opportunity to surprise. Nothing is absolute in Peru, but we look like we're going to be ready for drilling on a couple of projects in the coming months, and we've got 2 different projects: a JV with JOGMEC, the Japanese government, on a sediment-hosted system. That's one drill project, and what we're talking about, the 100% owned the Valente project as well.
When I met with Lars in Peru, and I met with the team, and I've spoken with you, and I've spoken with people much smarter than I, right? I consistently hear that at this early stage, they've never seen results over such a broad scale as we've seen at Valente, and specifically Previsto Central, right? Previsto Central, which we've termed the monster, which is a heck of a nickname to live up to. And I know that's a project that we'll see drilling over the coming year and a half, hopefully. But the surface work that is resulting from exploration thus far at the monster is out of this world to me. How many first times has the monster delivered thus far for you?
Well, it is a very big footprint, so it's basically 5 by 5 kilometers.
Right.
That's up with the biggest porphyry targets in the world. And we know what's at surface, and we just run, and we don't have the results yet. We're highly anticipating them. Big IP lines to see what's at depth. And then ultimately what we're going to be able to drill. We haven't started permitting this project for drilling because we're just making the discovery, so we're working out which are the best parts, and we're almost there, but that's been the last 4 or 5 months. It's been getting bigger and bigger, so it is just one of those projects that you go, oh my God, look at that scale. You can almost see it from the moon almost, right?
Right. Can we talk about some of the soil samples, the golden soils, and the transition? I was lucky enough to be able to see the transition from the gold to the copper zone. And again, you're walking and there's just gold and copper boulders all over the place. Smurf rock is what my business partner and friend and colleague, Mr. Nick Hodge, termed it, right? You're just walking around and there's Smurf rocks everywhere. And those Smurf rocks are literally copper just oozing out of the ground. It's all over the place. Can you talk about the different systems within that 5 by 5 kilometer footprint?
So porphyries form from magmatic processes. You have an intrusion coming up that crystallizes in the crust, a number of kilometers below the surface, and then above that porphyry you have the epithermal systems that form, and you can literally in the Andes, because you've got such topographic relief, walk from the gold systems at the top of the mountains through into the porphyries at the lower levels. Brevisto at the lower levels is copper rich, and then you walk up a hill and you go 700 meters up and there's gold up at the top there in the soils, but less copper. So we're seeing that whole transition through that evolved system. So it's a very cool thing geologically. It's a very cool thing economically. Gold just made, and these are gold-rich porphyries. They're alkalic porphyries. So I think that's a great help for this project. These will be massive gold systems, no doubt, and very big copper systems. The big question really is when we drill, what's the grade? Right. And that's always a question around a porphyry. And what we see at surface, rule of thumb, indicates that the grade should be, but let's drill it economic at depth from the leached numbers that we're getting at surface. So the surface weathering leaches or takes away the copper, and you've got to get below maybe 50 meters to see the grade and depth, the hypogene grade or the grade, unleached grade.
We believe we're a month, maybe 2 months away from permits at the first 3 projects at the 100% owned Valente Project. Can you describe what we can expect in terms of potential discoveries within those 3 projects? Because again, it's not just one big system. Again, Mr. Hodge termed it a herd of elephants. When you see it from a distance and you look at it in context, it looks like a herd of elephants, project. These are massive systems, but they're very different projects in a sense. Can you speak to the 3 that we should be drilling here in the next couple of months?
Yeah, so the area that we have permitted and anticipating the drill permits we call Valente. It's about 20 kilometres from Previsto, so to the southwest. And at Valente, there's 3 different mineral systems.
Right.
There's a porphyry called Ricardo Herrera, which is basically 1 kilometre by 1.5 kilometres in footprint. We've done the IP. It looks like it's a
huge target in itself.
Very large target in itself. Then there's a porphyry about 10 kilometres north that's in the permitted area also called Sortalecchio. We know less about Sortalecchio, and we're doing the IP as we speak, literally in that system, but that looks like a gold-rich porphyry. And we're doing the IP to get the drill targets and put it together with all the surface work. And then in between, you've got this hybrid, which is a gold system. It's called Vista Alegre. And Vista Alegre is certainly a gold-rich, it looks like it's an epithermal system, but it's also got some copper signature to it. We've done some early IP there last year. We're doing more now just to really nut out what this is. And that system we see less outcrop, so we know less about the rocks, but we certainly have outcropping gold running multiple grams over a large area itself. So that's 12 kilometres between porphyries and the intervening gold-rich system, Vista Alegre. So we'll be drilling there for years, right? So the permission is, we got 40 different platforms, so basically 1/3 in each different target.
Social license in Peru and the execution is critical. Cari, Fernando, they've done a brilliant job. I got to see some of that work firsthand while I was there. I think it's why we have such confidence that the permits will be in hand within the next month or 2, and that we'll be drilling discoveries out for the next several years. Can you speak to the community and the support that exists for those that may be skeptical about permitting projects with such scale in Peru, which at times has been a challenging environment in which to permit it, right?
Yeah, it's mission critical. If you don't have the local people's support anywhere in the world, let alone Peru, you're never going to go anywhere. And so we've worked very hard, and I think if we succeed in our ventures here and find these massive systems and multiple systems, and that in 15 years this belt is feeding a lot of the world's copper, because the world needs a lot of copper. The book that will be written was cracking the social license. So it wasn't that we didn't have it, but the people didn't really understand. These are new frontier areas that they've never been, so they've never seen or understand what Gateo y Prospección is and exploration in those areas. So we've worked very hard to bring the people who are local along the process, and we've given them a lot of support and a lot of programs, and they're going to be critical to the project, not just to get drill rigs there, but open mines if we are successful. So it's mission critical. Kathy and Fernando and the social licensing team have done an amazing job. These are people I've worked with since the mid-90s. They know the country very well, and you've got to do it with locals, and I'm very fortunate to have an amazing team.
I'm looking forward to the next several years. I absolutely cannot wait to see the drill rigs turning, I should say, and I think it's going to be a fun run. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Gerardo.